This video is going to discuss the topic of power outage preparedness if you live in an apartment or in a condo. Most power outage preparedness advice is built around single-family homes. It assumes you have access to things like a garage, a generator, an electrical panel, and plenty of outdoor space for solar panels. But apartment or condo living comes with a whole new set of challenges. You may not have access to a transfer switch or even a main breaker panel. Your solar charging options may only be limited to a patio or a small balcony. During a larger outage, things like elevators, garage doors, and other shared building systems may stop working for you. So in this video, I'm going to be walking you through some of the main challenges that are applicable to those that live in an apartment or a condo, and show you how I would build a realistic backup power plan with those limitations. In this video, we're going to be featuring the new Jackery HomePower 3600 Plus for powering all of the appliances for this power outage preparedness video. We'll talk about things like indoor backup power, appliance prioritization, solar charging, and what it's actually like using a larger power station in a community environment. The goal here isn't to review a power station, it is to figure out what exactly makes sense when your emergency plan has to work inside an apartment or a condo. Let's get started. If you're new to this channel, I'd like to welcome you. My name is Cliff, also known as the Urban Prepper, and on this channel we focus on the topic of urban emergency preparedness. In most power outage videos, the advice assumes that you have a detached home, which has some advantages, and you have a large outdoor area for solar charging. However, with an apartment or a condo, a lot of those things are not available to you. You'll still probably have a breaker panel inside of your unit. You're going to have shared ventilation, so you're not going to be able to run a generator on your porch with someone living next door. You have limited storage, narrow hallways, multiple floors, and you're going to have to deal with HOA or lease rules. The main thing is that with apartment preparedness, it's not just smaller versions of home preparedness. You have a different set of challenges. One of the biggest disadvantages with apartment living is that you usually cannot connect backup power directly to the electrical system. In a single-family home, you may be able to install a transfer switch or a power inlet and send electricity directly to selected household circuits. However, in an apartment, that is usually not an option. You may not even have access to the main electrical panel. And as a renter, you usually can't make permanent changes to the building. That means your power outage plan has to be built one device at a time. As always, the first priority is things like critical medical equipment, then things like fans, cooking, and limited entertainment. And while you could power your internet router, if power's down across your neighborhood, you're probably not going to have internet connection anyway. We used to live in an apartment for many years until we bought our first home. So I met with a few different friends across the greater Seattle area who live in either a condo or an apartment. When I talked with them about previous power outages, they mainly cared about keeping lights on. I think a better solution for basic lighting is having battery-powered and rechargeable LED lights and storing those in a power outage kit, which we've talked about on this channel before. And then save your large power bank for harder-to-power essentials. And in an apartment or condo, load management matters a whole lot more than running everything simultaneously. We've talked about this in the past by using inexpensive outlet timers to help with load management. A large power station could run a lot of equipment, but during a long-term power outage, it's more important to know what not to power. Again, the highest priority devices are medical devices, refrigerator and freezers, and anything for security or monitoring that's able to be run without internet. You could charge things like your phones and radios and fans and lighting as needed. I would probably avoid running things like a microwave, which could drain your power bank pretty quickly. And unless you absolutely have to, I'd also limit providing power to things like space heaters and full-size electric ovens and electric water heaters, continuous portable AC, and other high-draw comfort loads. Some devices barely use any power, like an electric keyboard or maybe an automatic cat feeder and water fountain. Small electronics can maintain routine without really draining your battery. And I don't think preparedness means that you just shut down everything that's non-essential. If you have your own home, you're able to use a generator, but in a community living, you're probably not able to because of the exhaust and the flammable liquids. For many apartment and condo residents, a gasoline generator is just not convenient. It's probably prohibited with your building. It would be unsafe due to the carbon monoxide, and pretty much impossible to operate correctly in community living. There may be no outdoor location far enough away from doors, windows, balconies, and shared ventilation systems. And you're probably going to have to deal with restrictions on fuel storage, noise, or equipment placed in common areas. I think this is one of the biggest reasons that battery power stations make more sense for community living. They could operate indoors without gasoline, exhaust, or the noise of a traditional generator. In a detached home, a little bit of equipment noise does not matter. But in an apartment with someone sleeping on the other end of the wall, it matters a lot. Again, this monthly power outage preparedness video series is sponsored by Jackery. And on this video, we're featuring the new Jackery HomePower 3600 Plus, which is an extremely quiet operating power station at under 30 dB, which is a whole lot quieter than a traditional generator. You're not going to have to worry about the noise with shared walls and floors. Let's do a quick rundown of the specs. This is a 3600 watt power station with 7200 watt surge. It has all of the normal buttons and ports that we see with other Jackery products. Next to the power button, you have the large Jackery LCD screen, which has the battery capacity percentage and input outputs and other indicators. You also have those USB-C and USB-A ports, which turn on using a dedicated button. And you have 4 AC ports, also which turn on with a dedicated button. On the top right, you have the 240 volt outlet. On the side, you have the AC expansion port, AC output reset, DC input for connecting things like solar panels, and your AC charging port, in addition to a DC expansion port. You could actually connect 2 of these in series with each other, and then provide power to them using solar. It has a nice extendable handle and wheels for rolling. This unit weighs around 77 pounds, so it's not light, and we'll talk about that more later when we're trying to go upstairs. But for its capacity, it's still smaller than previous versions. Again, this runs extremely quiet at less than 30 dB. Apartments usually don't have a dedicated emergency equipment room. A power station like this may have to share space with your furniture or your closets, your work area, or everyday household storage. If it's buried behind several months of boxes, it may not be available when you need it. If you live in an apartment or condo, it might just make sense to have it be a regular feature of your home and have it always charging different electronics, which it could then be used as a UPS if need be. Backup power only helps if it is charged, accessible, and already close to where you plan to use it. Probably the toughest thing of using a large power station for a power outage in an apartment or condo is dealing with the stairs. As mentioned, these power stations are generally pretty heavy. This particular one's 77 pounds. And while it has wheels and a handle, which makes it easy to roll around on flat surfaces, in apartments or condos, stairs are a real problem. One of the condos I went to had 4 levels from garage to the upper floor. And I felt that moving the unit between floors is pretty difficult. I'm a big, strong prepper, but my daughter, for example, would not be able to move this from floor to floor. I think emergency staircases could be even more difficult than normal stairs. Again, during a power outage, you may not even have illumination. So you'll have to think about that when it comes to moving around a 77-pound power station during a power outage if you live in an apartment or condo. On those emergency staircases, there's going to be tight landings, heavy doors, narrow spaces, and you'll also have to think about elevators. Elevators in community living may be down unless the building has a backup generator, but I wouldn't assume that an elevator will even work during a power outage. Again, the wheels and handle make this much easier to move on flat ground, but they do not make 77 pounds disappear when you reach a staircase. If you live in an apartment or a condo and you live above the ground floor, you need to decide where the system will be stored and how it will be moved before the elevator stops working. For some people, a smaller power station that can be carried safely may be a better choice than a larger system with more capacity. My daughter's barely able to carry the HomePower 2000, but would not be able to carry the 3600. Those are just some things that you're going to have to think about when dealing with stairs and elevators in community living. The best system's not automatically what's the biggest battery. The best system might be the one that you could safely store, charge, move, and use. When you're in an apartment or condo, everything is harder, including recharging your power bank using your solar panels. Solar charging sounds like an easy solution until you try to make it work from an apartment or condo balcony. You may not receive direct sunlight for a few hours each day, and the balcony may face the wrong direction, nearby buildings could create shade, and building rules may limit what could be visible from the outside. Again, the HomePower 3600 Plus is solar power capable, and you could connect 2 Solar Saga 200 solar panels, which in direct sunlight could recharge the power station in a couple of hours. However, with apartments and condos, you might not be dealing with direct sunlight. I tested this on a few different smaller patios, and solar panels take up a decent amount of space on those patios. 1 panel alone could take up all the space of a small balcony, and 2 panels may be unrealistic unless you get clever. To really do this right, in an emergency situation, you're probably going to have to drape your solar panels over your balcony railing to get full sunlight. Most of the time, there's just not enough space to lay them how you would if you were in a home. You could also hang them on a wall that has better sun exposure. One of the apartments that I went to had a nice upper floor patio area that did provide full visibility to sun. The only problem with that is that it is a community space. So everyone in your complex is going to know that you have a power station and solar capabilities during a power outage. If you are just limited to a small patio and there is no upper floor community space, recharging a large power station is going to take more hours than what you would expect under ideal conditions. That's just something you're going to have to keep in mind. Wall charging is going to be the most convenient method for providing power to a power station before the outage. And for apartments and condos, I would just look at solar as just for extending runtime when needed. An apartment resident may only get a few productive hours of solar charging. Again, that shared rooftop community patio may offer better solar exposure, but make sure that the equipment's allowed, and you're going to have to be careful with leaving it unattended in a first-come space like this. You may have to consider theft and security. So figure that out before the outage. For the most part, just try to keep that battery routinely charged instead of forgetting it in storage. I'm not going to go into too much detail of all the runtimes of the various equipment that you could provide power with this power station. We've covered that a lot in previous videos. And Jackery does provide a really nice web interface where you could put in your appliance and it'll provide you with a good approximation of how long it could provide power to that appliance. Things like fans are going to run for multiple days. Your refrigerator will also run for multiple days on this power station. Smaller electronics will run for weeks. And things like a CPAP would run for probably 2 weeks on this power station. Again, for power outage lighting, I would recommend going with battery-powered lights in a power outage kit and saving this power station for other appliances. The system has enough output to run all of these devices, but output and capacity are two different things. Just because I can turn everything on at the same time does not mean that that's the smartest way to make the battery last. Again, since you can't connect this power station directly to an apartment's electrical circuits, you have to decide individual devices to receive power. Apartment and condo power outage challenges can also apply when you're staying somewhere temporarily. This could be a vacation rental, extended stay apartment, hotel-style condo, or temporary housing after an emergency. Over the summer, we stayed at a really nice Airbnb that's owned by a friend in Sun River, Oregon. It was pretty much like an apartment. And for this stay, I used a smaller Jackery unit, which was a little bit lighter to carry up those flights of stairs. You may have plenty of backup power with you, but if it's locked in the parking garage or the elevator's not working, it doesn't do you much good. One of the things that I noticed at this apartment in Ballard is that a lot of the doors and gates required badge access to open. Before a power outage, you might want to find out how the building gives utility alerts and building notifications when there's no power. It might have a generator that kicks on to allow you to use all of the card scanners at the various points of the apartment or condo. In apartments and condos, power outages could affect elevators, garage doors, parking gates, electric key cards and key fobs, controlled access doors, hallway lighting, water pressure and pumps, laundry rooms, intercoms, cellular congestion, and fire alarm backup systems. Depending on the location, these may not fail. A really nice apartment, for example, may have batteries and generator support and manual overrides and some fail-safe behavior. So definitely ask your management and HOA if you live in an apartment and condo and you're thinking about preparedness for power outages. In all the apartments that we lived at, we had street parking, but some of the nicer ones do have parking garages. If I was still living in an apartment or a condo, I'd want to know about that. Your apartment may have backup electricity, but that doesn't mean that everything's going to work as normal. In apartments and condos, you are dealing with community living and neighbors, and that's something you're going to have to plan out ahead of time. There are some advantages of that, like having shared information, coordinating with management, and some buildings do have some shared lounges and rooftops and common areas. If you're nice, you might be able to charge neighbors' phones and help with important devices at a common gathering area during a long-term power outage. However, a lot of people, and preppers in particular, don't want to let other people know that they have preparedness measures in place. Your one Jackery power station will not be able to support an entire building. You can't be running extension cords in the hallways, and you're definitely not going to want to have expensive gear in a common area that could get stolen. And requests from neighbors can drain the capacity really fast. So definitely decide ahead of time on what you're willing to share. In general, my recommendation is like Fight Club. Don't even talk about it, unless people within your inner circle. You never know what people will do during an emergency situation. If everyone around you knows that your apartment is the only one that has lights, you should probably have a plan ready on what you're willing and able to share. I know in this video we focused a lot on general power outage preparedness for apartments and condos, and less on the specifics of the Jackery HomePower 3600 Plus, which is the sponsor of this video. I find that all the Jackery power stations are awesome, and this one's no different. For apartments and condos, it's quiet, it does not produce exhaust, you don't have to have an electrician or permanent modification to the building. You may have to run some extension cords in your apartment or condo, but that's okay. I think these are all major advantages for apartment and condo residents. And while houses may prioritize a gas power generator a lot of the times over a solar power station, in apartments and condos, I would probably prioritize a power station like this. Again, the biggest limitation is going to be the size and weight, because at 77 pounds, it's not something every resident will be able to carry upstairs or move alone. If you have to go up to upper floors, you're probably going to want to have a friend help you carry it up to avoid throwing out your back. For some apartments and condos, the capacity of the HomePower 3600 Plus will be awesome. I think for others, a smaller and lighter power station may be a little bit more practical, like maybe the HomePower 2000, even if it can't run as much equipment. I've created a PDF document that you could download by clicking the link in the description box below, which has a lot of the talking points that we covered in this video in relation to apartment and condo power outage preparedness. It also brings in some other aspects that we've talked in previous videos as part of this monthly power outage preparedness series. As you saw in this video, power outage preparedness looks a lot different when you're living in a condo or an apartment. You may not have access to a generator, transfer switch, garage, yard, or a reliable elevator. That means your plans need to focus on individual devices, realistic energy priorities, safe indoor backup power, and a clear understanding of how your building functions when the grid goes down. A system like the Jackery HomePower 3600 Plus could provide a substantial amount of power for you without fuel, exhaust, noise, or permanent electrical work. But I think a power station is only part of the plan. You still need to know where it will be stored, how it will be moved, what you'll connect first, and how you will recharge it with the limitations of the building. I hope that you enjoyed watching this power outage preparedness video, again featuring the new Jackery HomePower 3600 Plus. Please feel free to leave any kind of comments below in the comments section regarding this video. I know a lot of viewers on this channel live in either an apartment or a condo and would have some valuable comments to leave with the community. So leave those comments below and stay tuned for more urban emergency preparedness videos. See you next time.